So we've done the Shadow and it was quite a bit of fun, but what about the other arm cannon? The Bubonico. This one comes with two different fire modes and it's technically a shotgun. The primary mode is a shotgun blast that does primarily slash and puncture with a decent amount of toxin and a little bit of impact on the side, and it sports a 25% crit chance, 2.3 times crit multi, and a 9.3% status chance per projectile. And the secondary mode is a burst that fires a bunch of vital grenades that have a 3% crit chance, a 3.5 times crit multiplier, so if you can make them crit, it's gonna hurt a lot, and an absolutely massive 57% status chance. It's available from the Infested Lab in your dojo, and it's not that difficult to build. You need 10 mutagen mass, 3 argon crystals, a handful of plastids, and then some nanospores. So let's give it a shot and see what it do, shall we? I most certainly want to focus on the secondary fire, which is this right here, a burst of 3 viral explosives, because it's just way more fun. The stats are pretty solid, but also the primary fire doesn't really need a lot of help, so even if you build for the secondary, the primary is gonna be fine because it just has good crit and stuff. Oh my god, I forgot that this is actually a shotgun, so we can run Vendetta. Ooh, spicy. Spicy stuff, my dudes and dudettes. That's gonna be well good. Now, we will need Prime Point Blank because we're running Vendetta. Let's get Galvanized Hell in there as well. And I think we're gonna go with Galvanized Savvy, even though it doesn't work on the secondary fire, or at least I'm pretty sure it doesn't, because it's gonna help a lot with single target on the primary fire. I definitely want to try Corrosive and Blast, so let's get that in there. That is a very nice combination of elements, Vital, Corrosive, and Blast. Yes. Oh my god, look at that. Oh, that status chance. That's sexy. I guess that's gonna be it, right? Elementalist. Yep, I need to finagle the polarities around a little bit. We actually get a bigger mag as well, which is nice. I like that. I mean, we might as well. Jesus Christ, that is a flashbang and a half. Aside from the flashbang issue, good stuff. Strips armor really well, and the damage is very solid too. It is very bright though. I am not changing the energy color, by the way. Let's bump it up. You know what? This is actually really good. I thought like we would have to use the primary fire a lot for stuff like bombards and stuff. Well, no surprise here. Corpus just melt immediately. Let's try Murmur. Sure. That's quite nice. That is quite nice. Time to do an actual mission test. One thing I am a little bit worried about is actually not sustaining Vendetta because the AoE is quite big. It seems I was worried for nothing. We're proccing Vendetta absolutely fine. I feel like the damage is a bit low. Like the primary fire helps a lot, as you can see right here. It does a ton, even without crit. But the secondary fire, I would kind of like a little bit more from it, because it usually takes like 2 or 3 bursts to take down even some of the basic enemies. I do like this though, look at that. That is some solid single target, ooh la la. I want to try, how am I gonna do this? Get that out, move that over there. Gas and electricity. Hold up, you go there. Aha. Now that's better. We do have an open mod slot though, so what do we put in there? I mean, why not, right? That could be fun. Time to bully the shield boys. I can't see a damn thing, but stuff's dying, so that's good. The delay on the damage is throwing me off a little bit, but that's just, you know, a matter of getting used to it, because it takes a little bit for the electricity and gas to actually kick in and kill the enemy, so I always end up firing more shots than is necessary. It is working really well though. I'm happy with it so far. At least against the Corpus. It might be a little bit worse versus the Grenier if we don't add like Herald or some kind of armor strip. Still though, I kind of expected the dot damage to do a little bit more. Like, it's solid. It chunks the enemies pretty hard, but it doesn't do as much as I thought it would. Maybe I'm just spoiled by all the ridiculous blast and influence setups that we've been doing lately. Okay, so the single target's still good. That's nice. Put me down. Yeah, I think I'm just spoiled. This is more than good enough. This is absolutely fine. Tremendous even. Let's add Harold into the mix. Yeah, our goodest of boys. And he's already switched to Corrosive and Heat actually. Pretty much what I expected. Harold helps a ton. There's a massive difference between enemies that have been primed and stripped by Harold and enemies that have not, which is to be expected. I feel like this is one of those weapons where having multiple setups is going to be very beneficial, so if you're fighting the Grenier or Corrupted, Corrosive and Blast, Corrosive and Heat, Corrosive and Cold is going to be your best bet, but if you're fighting the Corpus or Infested, you can get away with something like Gas and Electricity. Even gas and electricity against the Grenier isn't bad though, you just need some armor strip. And also, I really like Shotgun Vendetta on this because it supercharges your reload and the weapon recharges very fast. I think I prefer this to the Corrosive and Blast version. Also, one thing to bear in mind here is that I'm not really using the primary fire, I only really use it against some really beefy Eximus units and Acolytes. And the primary fire, even without crit, absolutely shreds. Sit down, Melisse. Oh, I ran out of ammo, actually. This doesn't happen very often because the weapon recharges super duper fast. So overall, good stuff. So here's the build that I ended up liking the most for the Bubonico. We have Prime Point Blank for damage, Galvanize Hell for multi-shot, Galvanize Savvy for status chance and Condition Overload on the primary fire, Shotgun Elementalist for status damage and bigger magazine, Shotgun Barrage for a bunch of extra fire rate, though this can be replaced with another mod that adds more damage if you don't want the extra fire rate. We followed that up with Prime Charge Shell for a ton of electricity, as well as Scattering Inferno and Toxic Barrage for gas damage and status chance. Fatal Acceleration is not necessary at all, so if you don't want to invest an Exodus adapter into the weapon, you don't have to, and for the Arcane, we chose Shotgun Vendetta, which adds a bunch of multi-shot and reload speed. Now, this isn't the only setup you can run on this, of course, it's probably not even the best setup, it's just the one that has the best combination of fun and damage in my opinion. You can very easily go with Corrosive and Blast, Corrosive and Cold, Corrosive and Heat, and that kind of stuff. You can even go hybrid and take better advantage of the primary fire. Or if you really want to, you can actually build it for the primary fire and have really nutty single target. Now if you're gonna copy this build one for one, so you go for gas and electricity, I would very much recommend you bring some form of armor strip if you're fighting armored factions. I used my Hound, Good Boy Harold, with his Batoten modded for Corrosive, Radiation and Heat. This isn't super reliable because every now and then your pet will just faff around and not armor strip or prime, but it's better than nothing. Overall, I had quite a bit of fun with the Bubonico. It took a little bit of tweaking, but in the end we ended up with a build that's good fun to use and it does great damage. It does feel a little bit wasteful to not go for crit since the primary fire works so well with the hybrid setup, but even without crit, the primary fire still shreds enemies really well. One thing that I will say though is that it works considerably better in missions with high enemy density. If you're running something like an Exterminate or Capture, even in Steel Path, the performance is going to be somewhat mediocre, but if you take it into a survival where you have loads of enemies everywhere all the time, it's fantastic. And that's pretty much all I wanted to say, so I thank you very much for watching, as always guys, and I hope you've enjoyed the video. Then I would also like to extend a special thank you to all the channel members. Thank you very much guys, I really appreciate your support, it means a lot to me, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.